Love, a topic that we all have experienced at least once, but do you really understand it? Why are some relationships strong, while others are easily broken? What if the secret to keeping a man deeply in love with you wasn't about looking perfect or saying all the right things, but about becoming the kind of woman he never stops discovering? Too many relationships fade not because the love is gone, but because the energy that once sparked desire slowly disappears. The truth is, men don't stop chasing the woman who continues to inspire, surprise, and challenge them in the most beautiful ways. If you want to keep his heart racing even years later, these 7 timeless strategies will change everything. Welcome to the channel, Sophia's Knowledge, and my name is Sophia. This is where you will find valuable lessons and secrets to help you build a truly lasting love. In today's video, Sophia will explore with you 7 ways to make men always chase you even after a long time in love. Don't miss out on advice that can change the way you perceive and live in love. You will definitely feel more comfortable when you find a quiet place and put on your headphones. Let yourself relax and be ready to receive the positive messages in today's video. Are you ready to embark on this journey with Sophia? Let's get started together. Way 1. Always maintain your own allure, never lose yourself. There's something incredibly magnetic about a woman who knows who she is and never lets love make her lose herself. In the beginning of a relationship, it's easy to be captivating, newness naturally draws attention. But over time, many women begin to let their guard down, not in a healthy way, but in a way that gradually strips away the very qualities that made them so attractive in the first place. Maintaining your personal allure isn't about constantly trying to impress your partner. It's about never abandoning the essence of who you are just because you're in a committed relationship. True feminine magnetism lies in your ability to stay grounded in your identity, to keep nurturing your individuality, and to never lose that spark that made him fall for you. Let's break this down. Don't stop taking care of yourself. Many women make the mistake of thinking that once they've won his heart, they no longer need to put an effort into their appearance or presence. But the truth is, attraction doesn't disappear because of time, it fades because we stop doing the little things that once made it grow. Taking care of yourself doesn't mean dressing up for him. It means doing it for you. When you wear what makes you feel good, when you keep your posture graceful, when you smell nice and carry yourself with intention, your energy shifts. You radiate confidence. And confidence is timelessly attractive. So don't fall into the trap of letting yourself go. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show that you still value yourself, and that makes him value you even more. Preserve your passions and interests. In love, it's easy to get swept up in his world, his schedule, his preferences, his goals. But if you stop painting, writing, dancing, traveling, or doing whatever used to light you up, you're not just losing hobbies, you're dimming your inner light. What keeps a man chasing after you even after years together is the sense that you're still growing, still evolving, still discovering life. Be the woman who reads new books, tries new things, and has stories to tell. The kind of woman he can't wait to talk to after a long day because she brings freshness and vitality to his life. When you preserve your personal world, you give him something to admire, and something to miss when you're not around. Don't become too predictable. Mystery isn't about playing games. It's about not laying your entire life bare to the point where there's nothing left to discover. When a man feels like he knows everything about you, what you'll say, what you'll do, how you'll react, he loses that sense of intrigue that makes him want to pursue. This doesn't mean being secretive or distant. It means staying unpredictable in the most delightful ways. Surprise him with how you grow. Challenge him with your ideas. Let your depth unfold slowly, like a novel he never wants to put down. Embrace your feminine power. Your allure is not only in your looks. It's in your energy. It's in the way you speak gently yet confidently. The way you smile with warmth but hold your boundaries. The way you allow him to step up and be a man, while you remain in your graceful strength. Feminine energy is magnetic because it balances his masculine energy. When you nurture your softness, your emotional intelligence, your creativity, and your sensuality, you give him something he doesn't get from the rest of the world. You become his peace, his inspiration, and his motivation, all without trying too hard. Never stop being you. The biggest loss in a long-term relationship isn't love, it's the loss of self. The moment you start reshaping yourself completely to meet his expectations, you stop being the woman he fell in love with. Authenticity is irresistible. Be honest about your needs. Speak your truth calmly. Keep your values strong. When you stay rooted in your authenticity, he knows that your love is real. And he'll keep pursuing you, not because you demand it, but because you inspire it. A man never stops chasing the woman who never stops being herself. Your personal allure is not something you have to fabricate, it's something you protect. The relationship may grow and evolve, but the magic begins when you never stop evolving, either. So show up for yourself every day. Invest in your joy. Cultivate your glow. And let your life remain so rich and meaningful that he feels lucky, every single day, to be part of your world. Everyone has a different perspective, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Leave a comment below and let's discuss. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join me in the next videos. Let's continue together. Way 2. Know how to create just the right amount of distance. One of the most overlooked secrets to keeping a man intrigued, engaged, and in pursuit, even after years together, is the art of maintaining a little bit of space. Not emotional coldness, not calculated withdrawal, but intentional distance. The kind that makes him miss you, desire you, and keep chasing you, not because you're unavailable, but because you're never fully possessed. Love needs closeness, but desire needs space. And women who understand how to create just the right amount of emotional and energetic distance often find themselves constantly admired and deeply valued, no matter how long the relationship lasts. Let's explore why and how this delicate dance works. Mystery keeps the flame alive. When everything about you is available all the time, your attention, your emotions, your physical presence, there's little left for him to pursue. Human nature values what is slightly out of reach. We chase what we can't immediately have. And when you always respond immediately, always say yes, or never spend time away from him, he begins to take your presence for granted. But when you create space, by having your own life, by occasionally being unavailable, by not oversharing every thought, he becomes curious again. He wonders what's on your mind. He thinks about what you might be doing. He starts to look at you not as a given, but as a gift. And that shift in perception changes everything. Be present, but not predictable. Creating distance doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means not allowing the relationship to become so routine that he no longer needs to make an effort. When he knows that he has to work to keep your attention, not compete for it, but earn it, he stays motivated. This could be as simple as not always being available to text back within seconds. Or choosing to spend an evening with your friends rather than canceling plans just to be with him. Or allowing yourself to take a day for self-care without feeling guilty about not being on call. Men are drawn to women who have a world outside of them. It signals strength, independence, and most importantly, it sends the message that you choose him, you don't need him to complete you. That distinction is powerful. Maintain your own rhythm. In a healthy relationship, both partners have their own emotional and mental rhythm. You don't need to match his every mood or chase after every shift in his energy. When he pulls back a little, don't rush in to close the gap. Let it breathe. If he's busy, let him be busy. You have your own things to focus on. If he seems distant one day, don't panic or overanalyze. Trust your value enough to know that silence doesn't mean rejection. Let the space serve a purpose. Often, it makes him realize just how much he misses your presence. This calm confidence in handling distance is what distinguishes a magnetic woman from one who seems overly attached or insecure. Emotional distance isn't disconnection. What you're creating isn't a wall, it's a rhythm of ebb and flow. It's about keeping emotional boundaries that preserve your peace, especially during conflict or emotional overload. When you give space, you protect the relationship from becoming codependent, needy, or suffocating. You don't have to share every emotion the moment you feel it. You don't have to always be on or emotionally available. It's okay to process your thoughts privately, to reflect before reacting, and to hold parts of your inner world sacred. He doesn't need to have all of you to love you deeply. In fact, he respects you more when you choose what parts of yourself you share, and when. Let him come to you sometimes. You don't always have to initiate connection. Let him come to you. Let him wonder why you're quiet today. Let him ask how you're feeling. Let him lean in. If you're always the one reaching out, planning dates, checking in, he becomes passive. But when you lean back, he leans forward. This is not a game, it's a natural balance of masculine and feminine energy. When you soften and create space, his natural instinct is to fill that space. This gentle pullback is what reignites his drive to pursue. You are the prize, not the chase. When you know how to create space, you're essentially reminding him, you are valuable. You're not a constant presence because you're not desperate. You're not always available because you're not dependent. You live a full life, and he's lucky to be part of it, but he doesn't own it. That energy is compelling. It doesn't push him away, it pulls him closer. Creating the right amount of distance is an act of strength and wisdom. It doesn't mean withholding love, affection, or time. It means offering them consciously, not compulsively. It means giving him a chance to miss you, to wonder about you, to crave your presence again and again. Because the woman who gives him space is the woman who never becomes invisible. She's the one who keeps him on his toes, keeps him curious, and keeps him falling in love, over and over again. If you are still watching the video, do not hesitate to comment continue. Leave your thoughts and questions below in the comment section. I look forward to hearing your opinions, and do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that Sophia has more motivation to create more good and meaningful videos. Let's continue together. Way 3. Keep growing and evolving as a woman. One of the most powerful ways to keep a man pursuing you long after the honeymoon phase is over is to become a woman who never stops growing. Not for him, not to prove anything, but for yourself. When a man sees that you are constantly evolving, setting new goals, exploring new passions, and expanding your horizons, he doesn't just admire you, he's inspired by you. You become the kind of woman he's proud to walk beside, someone who reminds him of the beauty of progress, ambition, and self-worth. And in a world where so many people settle into routine and stop challenging themselves, your growth becomes rare, and therefore, deeply attractive. Stillness breeds stagnation, growth sparks desire. It's easy to get comfortable in a relationship. You find a rhythm. You get used to each other. The routines settle in. While comfort can feel safe, it can also slowly kill the sense of wonder and curiosity that once kept things exciting. But when you continue to learn, explore, and become more of yourself, you introduce newness into the relationship. Suddenly, you're not just the woman he knows, you're the woman he's getting to know all over again. He sees different sides of you, discovers new thoughts, hears fresh ideas, and watches you evolve in real time. That's how you keep his attention. Not by holding it tightly, but by constantly becoming someone worth paying attention to. Invest in your dreams, even if they're small. Growth doesn't always mean launching a business or climbing the corporate ladder. Sometimes it's taking a painting class you've always been curious about. Or learning a new language. or simply reading books that expand your worldview. The key is to stay curious. Stay passionate. Stay in motion. When you have your own goals, whether they're personal, creative, or professional, you radiate a sense of direction that captivates the masculine mind. Men are naturally drawn to purpose. And when they see you pursuing your purpose, not obsessively, but joyfully, they are reminded that you are a whole, dynamic human being. Not just a partner. Not just someone who fills their emotional needs. But a woman with her own inner fire. Growth builds confidence, and confidence is irresistible. There's a special kind of confidence that comes not from validation or attention, but from knowing who you are and where you're going. It's the confidence of someone who has challenged herself and grown from it. As you learn new skills, overcome setbacks, and step outside your comfort zone, your energy shifts. You become more grounded, more self-assured, and less afraid of being alone or misunderstood. That energy doesn't just make you powerful, it makes you magnetic. A confident woman doesn't need to chase affection, because her presence already demands attention. She walks into a room with a sense of purpose, and people notice, even if she says nothing. Let him watch you shine. One of the most exciting things for a man is watching the woman he loves become more of herself. When you let him witness your victories, both big and small, you deepen the bond between you. He gets to be part of your journey, your cheerleader, your confidant. And more importantly, he gets to see that your life is not static. It's a story that's still being written. A story he wants to keep reading. Show him your passions. Talk to him about your ideas. Let him see how your mind works, what lights you up, what you're learning. When you do that, you create emotional intimacy, not through dependency, but through inspiration. Don't wait for permission to grow. Many women hold themselves back out of fear. Fear of outgrowing their partner, fear of being too much, fear of being misunderstood. But stifling your growth won't make the relationship stronger. It will only make you smaller. You weren't born to shrink to fit into someone's comfort zone. You were born to expand. And the right man won't be threatened by your growth, he'll be drawn to it. So take that course. Change careers. Start that side project. Do what makes you feel alive. You don't need anyone's permission to evolve. Becoming more keeps the spark alive. The real magic in long-term relationships isn't in staying the same, it's in growing together. But for that to happen, you have to take the lead in growing yourself. When you constantly become more emotionally intelligent, more curious, more self-aware, you keep the energy of the relationship fresh and alive. He keeps pursuing you because you're never fully figured out. You're not stagnant. You're not predictable. You're becoming. And that's what makes you unforgettable. Never underestimate the power of personal growth. It's not just a path to fulfillment, it's a powerful force of attraction. The woman who keeps evolving is the woman who never becomes boring. She's always surprising. Always inspiring. Always inviting her partner to see her in a new light. So grow boldly. Keep learning. Keep moving. Let your evolution be the reason he never stops choosing you, day after day, year after year. Way 4. Show gratitude and respect in the right way. Love may be the foundation of a relationship, but gratitude and respect are the glue that holds it together. Over time, the spark that once made hearts race can dim, not because the love fades, but because appreciation and admiration quietly disappear. A woman who knows how to make a man feel seen, valued, and respected will never be forgotten. She becomes the one he cherishes, protects, and continues to pursue. No matter how many years have passed. Gratitude is not about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It's about the small, consistent signals that say, I see what you do, and I don't take it for granted. And respect? It's about how you speak to him, how you look at him, how you believe in him, even when he doubts himself. Let's explore how these two powerful forces can keep him forever drawn to you. Men crave appreciation more than they admit. While women often seek emotional connection, men quietly long to be appreciated. They want to feel like their efforts are noticed, not just when they buy gifts or say the right words, but when they fix something in the house, stay late at work to provide, or support you silently during your bad days. Too many women overlook these moments, treating them as expected duties rather than acts of care. But a woman who pauses, smiles, and says, "Thank you for doing that," lights something up in a man that words can hardly describe. He feels seen. He feels proud. He feels like what he does matters. And when a man feels valued, he keeps showing up. Respect him, especially when no one else does. Respect doesn't mean agreeing with him all the time or letting go of your standards. It means honoring who he is, even in his imperfections. It means speaking to him with dignity, especially in moments of conflict. It means trusting his intentions even when he stumbles. In a world that constantly tells men to be tough, silent, and unemotional, your respect becomes a healing place. When he knows you believe in his strength without humiliating his weakness, he opens up. He leans in. He trusts you more. And nothing keeps a man more devoted than a woman who respects not just the man he is, but the man he's becoming. Compliment his character, not just his looks. Yes, he'll appreciate it if you say he looks good, but what sticks with him is when you admire his character. Tell him you respect his work ethic. That you love how he treats people with kindness. That you admire the way he handles pressure. These compliments go deeper than surface-level attraction, they touch his soul. And when a man feels respected on that level, he won't just love you. He'll want to protect and uplift you, too. Never undermine him in public. One of the most powerful ways to show respect is by protecting his dignity, especially when others are around. Criticizing, mocking, or correcting him in public may seem harmless in the moment, but it can quietly erode his sense of self-worth in the relationship. When you stand beside him, not in silence, but with grace, you send a message, "I've got your back." And he will remember that more than any romantic date or sweet text. Be his safe place, not his silent judge. Men are often more emotionally sensitive than they show. They may not express their fears or insecurities as openly, but they feel them deeply. When he does open up, it's not the time to give advice or corrections. It's the time to listen, without judgment. Being his safe place means allowing him to express himself, even when he's vulnerable or unsure. And when you respond with understanding rather than criticism, you become the woman he turns to. Not the one he hides from. That kind of emotional trust keeps the connection strong, intimate, and deeply rooted in respect. Gratitude makes you irreplaceable. It's not enough to feel gratitude, you have to express it. Not just in words, but in tone, in touch, in everyday interactions. When he brings you coffee, when he holds your hand in silence, when he supports your dreams, acknowledge it. Say thank you. Smile. Give him a kiss on the cheek. Hold his gaze just a second longer. These gestures might seem small, but over time, they build a home in his heart. A woman who consistently appreciates her man makes herself unforgettable. Men don't stay in love with perfection, they stay in love with the woman who makes them feel respected and valued for who they truly are. When you show gratitude and offer genuine respect, you remind him of his worth, not just as your partner, but as a man. So don't wait for special occasions to acknowledge him. Notice the little things. Speak kindly, especially when it's hardest. Believe in his dreams. Protect his dignity. Because a woman who honors her man with gratitude and respect doesn't have to ask for his devotion, he gives it willingly. Over and over again. Way 5. Be a great listener and share wisely. Communication is often said to be the backbone of any healthy relationship, but it's not just about how much we talk. It's about how well we listen. And more importantly, how intentionally we share. A woman who masters the art of listening, truly listening, and knows how to open her heart with wisdom becomes a source of peace, trust, and emotional magnetism for her partner. She becomes the woman he runs to, not away from. The one who knows when to stay quiet, when to speak, and how to make him feel heard without ever saying, "I told you so." Let's dive into why this skill matters so deeply, and how it makes a man keep chasing you, not just with his actions, but with his heart. Listening isn't about waiting to speak. Most people listen just to respond. They're already forming a reply before the other person finishes their sentence. But real listening? It's silent. It's soft. It's spacious. When a man speaks, especially about something vulnerable or difficult, he's not always looking for answers. Often, he just wants someone to witness his thoughts without judgment. If you interrupt, finish his sentences, or rush to fix things, you might unintentionally make him feel small, misunderstood, or dismissed. But when you hold space for his voice, calmly, patiently, attentively, he feels safe. He feels respected. And in a world that constantly tells men to toughen up and stay quiet, a woman who listens deeply becomes his emotional sanctuary. Validate before you advise. Men, like women, go through moments of uncertainty, frustration, and confusion. When they open up, even a little, it takes courage. One of the fastest ways to shut that door is to immediately jump into problem-solving mode. Instead, try this: validate his emotions first. Acknowledge his feelings before offering thoughts or advice. Say things like, "That must have been hard," or "I get why you'd feel that way." This doesn't mean you have to agree with him, it just shows empathy. Once he feels emotionally understood, he's more open to your perspective. You're not fixing him, you're supporting him. And that's a powerful difference. Read the room, every conversation has its time. Being a wise communicator also means knowing when to bring something up. Not every issue needs to be addressed the moment it arises. Timing, tone, and emotional readiness are everything. If he's tired, stressed, or distracted, it's often more effective to wait than to push. Choose moments when you're both calm and open. That way, what you say will be heard, not just heard, but felt. Wisdom is not in how loudly you speak, but in how well you're received. Don't overshare, protect your inner world. Vulnerability is beautiful, but it also requires boundaries. Many women make the mistake of oversharing too quickly or too often, thinking that emotional openness equals closeness. But constant emotional dumping, especially without self-awareness, can lead to emotional fatigue in your partner. Share when it brings connection, not confusion. Express yourself clearly, but also with maturity. And remember that not every thought or feeling needs to be voiced in the moment. Learn to process your own emotions first, then speak from a place of clarity rather than chaos. You become more magnetic when your emotions are expressed with intention, not impulse. Hold space without needing control. Sometimes, your man may pull away emotionally. Not because he's losing interest, but because he's overwhelmed or simply needs to process something alone. When that happens, resist the urge to force conversation, seek constant reassurance, or demand answers. Instead, hold space. Let him know you're there, but don't chase. Your quiet strength speaks louder than any words. When he comes back, and he will, it will be because you gave him the space to choose you. And nothing deepens love like feeling chosen, not cornered. Let your voice be gentle, but grounded. Listening is one side of the equation, but how you speak matters just as much. A wise woman knows that her voice carries weight. She doesn't shout to be heard. She doesn't manipulate. She speaks with calm conviction and heartfelt clarity. When you need to express a boundary, a need, or a fear, do so with softness and strength. Speak in a way that invites connection, not defensiveness. You don't need to win every argument. You just need to create understanding. And in doing so, you become a partner, not a critic. Being a great listener and a wise sharer isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It's about being emotionally intelligent enough to understand that the heart doesn't open through pressure, but through safety. When a man feels heard by you, when he knows he can speak without being judged, when your words uplift rather than overwhelm, he doesn't just stay. He stays in love. So listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. Speak not just to be understood, but to connect. And in doing so, you'll become the woman he doesn't just talk to, but the one he trusts, cherishes, and keeps pursuing for a lifetime. Way 6. Keep the romance and playfulness alive. Be surprising, romantic, and witty. Falling in love is often effortless. It's thrilling, magical, and charged with anticipation. But staying in love, keeping the spark alive after years together, requires intention. The couples who thrive in long-term relationships aren't the ones who avoid challenges. They're the ones who know how to bring lightness, surprise, and emotional excitement into everyday life. When a woman knows how to be both romantic and playful, how to make her partner laugh, blush, or feel appreciated without it becoming a routine, she becomes unforgettable. She keeps his heart dancing even when the world feels heavy. And he stays drawn to her not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire. Let's explore how to master this emotional art. Romance isn't just about grand gestures. Too many people think romance has to be extravagant, fancy dinners, surprise trips, elaborate gifts. While those things are beautiful, the most impactful romance is often simple and sincere. It's the unexpected "I love you" whispered during a busy day. It's a handwritten note left on his pillow. It's sending him a song that made you think of him, or making his favorite drink just the way he likes it. Romance lives in the little things. When you sprinkle them into ordinary moments, you remind him that love is alive and worth treasuring. Be unpredictable in the most beautiful ways. Predictability is the silent killer of attraction. When every day feels the same greetings, same habits, same conversations, excitement quietly fades. But when you add playful unpredictability, you reawaken curiosity. Change your look occasionally. Suggest spontaneous date nights. Surprise him with something he didn't know he needed, whether it's a thoughtful gift or a flirty message in the middle of his workday. When he doesn't always know what to expect from you, in the best possible way, he's always excited to come home to you. Flirt like it's still the beginning. Flirting shouldn't stop after the dating phase. In fact, it becomes even more powerful in long-term love. When you tease him with a knowing smile, gently challenge him, or compliment him unexpectedly, you revive the energy of courtship. It tells him, "I still see you. I still choose you. I still want to keep you on your toes." And here's the secret: men never outgrow the desire to be flirted with by the woman they love. It's not childish, it's essential. Keep humor alive, laugh together, often. Playfulness is an underrated love language. When you can laugh together, you dissolve tension, deepen connection, and create joyful memories that outlast any argument or hardship. You don't have to be a comedian. Just let your natural humor show. Be silly. Share inside jokes. Dance in the kitchen. Make fun of life's little mishaps instead of letting them ruin your day. When you become the person he laughs with, the one who brings him lightness when life feels dark, he doesn't just love you. He needs you. Romantic energy can be subtle and soft. Romance doesn't always have to be loud. Sometimes it's in the quiet moments, when you look at him with admiration, gently touch his hand while driving, or sit close without needing to say a word. These moments build emotional intimacy. They say, "I'm here. I'm connected. I feel you. Never underestimate the power of presence. Romance isn't always candles and music, it can be the warmth of your voice when he walks in the door, or the way you lean into him when you're both exhausted but still in love. Use your wit to keep things lively. Wit is more than humor, it's intelligence wrapped in charm. When you can challenge his mind with cleverness and engage in playful banter, you activate both his heart and his intellect. Men admire women who are mentally stimulating, who can make them think, laugh, and wonder what she'll say next. So don't hold back your wit. Use it to add sparkle to conversations, to lighten tension, and to deepen the bond with depth and delight. Intentionally create magical moments. Magic doesn't happen by accident, it's created. Every now and then, plan something just for the two of you. A cozy night with no phones. A memory jar you build together. A recreated version of your first date. These intentional moments don't just revive romance, they create emotional anchors. They give you both something to remember and return to, even when life gets overwhelming. It tells him, our love is still worth the effort. A relationship doesn't lose its fire because the love disappears. It fades when people stop doing the things that once made their partner feel alive. A woman who knows how to be surprising, romantic, and witty doesn't have to fight for his attention. She earns it. Every single day. Not with pressure, not with demands, but with the effortless charm of a heart that knows how to love playfully. So keep the sparkle. Keep the fun. Let love feel light, even when life feels heavy. Because the woman who can make him smile, laugh, and feel loved in the simplest ways will always be the one he chooses, again and again. Way 7. Love yourself first, have a life that inspires him. There is nothing more captivating than a woman who truly loves herself. Not in a superficial or self-obsessed way, but with a deep, quiet confidence that radiates through her choices, her energy, and the way she carries herself in the world. She doesn't wait for a man to complete her. She completes herself, and in doing so, becomes magnetic. Men are naturally drawn to women who are fulfilled, curious, and independent. When you have a life that excites you, a purpose, passions, routines that energize you, you don't need to chase love. Love gravitates toward you. Let's dive into why self-love and a rich personal life don't just make you happy, they make you unforgettable. A woman who loves herself sets the tone for how she'll be loved. When you prioritize yourself, you teach others how to treat you. You show them that your time has value, your peace has priority, and your dreams are worth pursuing. You no longer tolerate crumbs, because you know your worth. And that standard naturally filters out anyone who doesn't see your value, including men who would otherwise have taken you for granted. Self-love is not about being self-centered. It's about honoring your own needs without guilt. And when a man sees you doing that with grace, he doesn't feel pushed away, he feels inspired to meet you at your level. Your life shouldn't stop because you're in love. So many women lose themselves in relationships. They start giving up their hobbies, their routines, their social circles, all in the name of being available, present, and all in. But love doesn't require you to vanish into someone else's world. Real love thrives when both people bring something vibrant to the table. Keep doing what lights you up. Whether it's painting, hiking, writing, traveling, building your career, or spending time with friends, do it. When your life feels full and meaningful, you're not just more joyful, you're more attractive. Why? Because you become the woman who lives with intention. The woman who has something to talk about, something to share, something to teach. You become interesting, dynamic, alive. And that kind of energy keeps a man endlessly curious. Independence is not intimidating, it's irresistible. Some women worry that being too independent will drive men away. But the truth is, emotionally healthy men are not scared of your strength. In fact, they're drawn to it. When you know how to stand on your own, when you don't need constant reassurance or validation, when you can enjoy your own company and pursue your own goals, he doesn't feel pressured to be your everything. He gets to simply love you, not rescue you. That freedom creates space for desire, for admiration, for a love based on mutual respect rather than dependence. Self-love attracts effortless respect. A woman who respects herself doesn't need to beg for his attention. She doesn't chase. She doesn't play games. She simply shows up as she is, whole, grounded, and clear about what she will and won't accept. Men respect women who respect themselves. It's that simple. When you hold your standards without apology and stay true to what you deserve, you become the kind of woman he wants to rise for. Because deep down, men want to earn your love. Not because they're afraid of losing you, but because they're inspired by the woman you are. Your energy is contagious, make it magnetic. When you love yourself, you radiate a certain calmness. You're not easily shaken. You're not overly reactive. You smile more, stress less, and walk with a quiet glow that says, I'm good, with or without anyone else. That energy is powerful. It makes people lean in. It makes him wonder, what's different about her? And here's the truth. You don't need to say a word. The way you treat yourself speaks volumes. Create a life that doesn't need to be escaped from. Your relationship shouldn't be the only exciting thing about your life. Build a routine that feels nourishing. Create friendships that uplift you. Explore places that awaken your soul. Find work that challenges you or hobbies that express your creativity. When you live a life you genuinely enjoy, you don't become clingy or overly focused on your partner's every move. You're content, and he can feel that. He feels the lightness in you, the strength, the sense of freedom, and he wants to be part of it. Not out of duty. Out of admiration. Loving yourself first isn't selfish, it's foundational. When you fill your own cup, you have more to give. When you live fully, you love fully. And when you respect your own heart, you attract a partner who does too. A woman who has her own life, a beautiful, passionate, purposeful life, will always stand out. She'll never be forgotten. Because she doesn't just ask to be loved, she inspires it. So keep becoming her. The woman who shines from within. The woman who is her own source of joy. The woman who, even after years together, still feels like a mystery he wants to keep discovering. Conclusion. Love may begin with chemistry, attraction, and excitement, but it endures because of depth, intention, and presence. A man doesn't stay captivated by beauty alone. He stays captivated by the woman who continues to grow, who respects herself, and who keeps inviting him into a relationship that feels fresh, meaningful, and alive. When you maintain your own allure, create just enough distance, evolve consistently, show appreciation, listen with heart, keep the spark alive, and live a full life outside of love, you become magnetic. Not because you're trying to impress him, but because you're deeply in touch with who you are. The truth is, the most irresistible women are not the ones who try the hardest to be loved, they're the ones who are already in love with their own lives. They don't beg to be pursued. They inspire it. Every single day. So don't focus on how to hold on to him. Focus on how to hold on to yourself. The right man will notice. He'll lean in. And he'll keep choosing you, not because he has to, but because something about you always feels worth chasing. Never stop being her. The woman who doesn't need to be the center of attention, because her presence already commands it. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. I hope you found some useful lessons about love and relationships. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. I appreciate your support and will continue to bring valuable content in future videos. Please continue to join me on my journey to learn about love and relationships. See you soon, and I wish you happiness.